Many of you listeners have never really heard of Stormy Daniels, but now you certainly have. And the incredible thing is that today, this porn star, who I'm wondering if your son would have brought her home, how would you have accepted her? But in the court of law, her reputation is above that of the President of the United States. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rent Network. I am David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. I will not talk about today's weather. Dive into it with us today to the unfiltered, raw, stupid issues that span the news, pop cultures, politics, and so much more. And maybe I should add justice to this introduction, because we're going to be dissecting today's absurdity of justice in the state of New York. Folks, this deep-seated issue is actually scary, that a porn is got this much credibility and they try to take down a president with it. Unbelievable. So, folks, sit back and get a load of this. Today's rant. Stuart, I've been listening to Alan Dershowitz, and many people have been critical of Alan Dershowitz since 2017. Dershowitz is a card-carrying Democrat, hardcore liberal, Harvard law professor, very well reputed. He was involved in many court cases dating back over 50 years. He's in his 80s, well respected, until he defended Donald Trump and accused the left and the Democrats of a witch hunt. To which, of course, the Democrats said, oh, well, then you're not a real liberal. You're not a real Democrat. You're out. We don't give you any more credibility. So a lot of those interviews that he used to get on the liberal media disappeared. But he's been appearing more and more on a variety of other media platforms and has been saying the same thing, that this court case is a clown show, that this is unbelievable. Stuart, I can't believe that for the first time in U.S. history, a former sitting president is being brought in on criminal charges, but this with a porn star, and to top it all off, this is quite a precedent that they're trying to set here. But
David, Stormy Daniels, or AKA Stephanie Gregory, AKA Stormy Daniels, a champagne lounge where there's no sex in that back room, porn star, right, who has won many awards of taking it in the fill in the blank, is someone of high integrity according to the state v. Trump. Now, I got to tell you something. Do you think they're not screwing in the champagne room in New York City? Maybe the mayor's been there. I got to tell you something. Stormy Daniels been taking it in the rear, in the mouth, in the head, and I'm sure her parents, Sheila and Bill Gregory, are really proud of their take it in the rear daughter. Because you know what? She's so full of crap. Listen, even if you say she was strong-armed in signing a form, was she strong-armed taking it in the rear end? Because you know what? I don't think that champagne room person has any integrity whatsoever, because all she wanted to do is peel another dollar out of a guy's wallet. Well, anyone's wallet for that matter. In fact, that is literally the training that Stephanie Gregory Clifford actually did for a living. And you know what? She continues to do that for a living. But since her body no longer has the luster of a 20-year-old whore, she's got to make money doing something else, utilizing the house of ill repute to help her, or ill repute training to help her strong arm and blackmail a former president of the United States. She's never said it was unconsensual if it was a real affair. And so therefore it was a fee for what? An escort? The oldest occupation in the world? Or is extortion the oldest occupation in the world? Because brag, was bragging about I'm going to get Trump, seems at getting it in the rear end as well. You know, a sitting president allowing this to happen is a disgrace to the U.S. You know, Donald Trump's got thicker skin than clearly anyone else, especially the four bitches of The View, because they're just bitches. I'm sorry for using the profanity, David. Whoopi Goldberg's like, yeah, we should reopen Alcatraz. Honey, that's like me saying you should go out to the cotton fields, Whoopi. You know, you are such a racist, a hater of all time. And you know what? Even if, which has been vehemently denied, any truth to Stormy Daniels and President Donald J. Trump, I think it's a heck of a lot better than Monica Lewinsky's mouth over a sitting president's cock under the Resolute desk. Something that is mind-boggling. David's eyes are popping out of his head because I'm utterly just disgusted. I really am with all of this. The shenanigans, a bewildered current president of the United States that is a puppet. Henson would be proud of Joseph Biden. In fact, that would probably be his newest puppet. Because literally, he's a living, sitting puppet. David?
Stuart, I wouldn't go down the same degree of profanity as you did, but hey, what else is new? But here let's go through a little bit of the situation here, okay? Stormy Daniels claims to have had a tryst with Trump 18 years ago. He denied it. It's fine. Men, women, they go through this all the time. He said, she said, that's fine, but it's two consenting adults. And she denied it too, but she squeezed $130,000 out of Trump. She extorted it out of him. And when Trump, ran for president a decade later, she promised she wouldn't go public with it. Her demands and her threats intensified apparently out as they got closer to the election. You call that extortion? I call it extortion. But Donald Trump's on trial, not Stormy Daniels. And so, this is where there's a lot of this question as to why. Now, Stormy Daniels has benefited from this.
Your mic went out, David.
Can you hear me?
Your mic went out live. It's okay. While David gets his technology back in line, Stuart, I got to be honest with you.
Stuart.
The whole concept that this person who's claimed to fame from the 40-year-old virgin to literally. All right, David, maybe my volume's down.
So let me try to finish up here while you check your sound on your system here. Because Daniels, what she ended up doing, she made money off of this. She used his slogan, Make America Great, to use Make America Horny again. It was a great thing that she moved. And so she's done all this. And yet Alvin Bragg drags Donald Trump into court. And what does he end up doing? He wants the details. He wants the details of the entire relationship. All to embarrass the president of the United States. And the question is, where's the crime? The crime is that he paid her hush money because he was extorted. That's the fascinating thing, folks. This has got nothing to do with, if someone could tell me where's the crime. So what are people saying? He paid her off. Congratulations, you paid her off. Okay. Not the first person in the world to pay off. Not the last person to pay someone off. And while Stuart is playing with the screens here, okay, he's not Donald Trump, you want to call him mental case? I've heard that term. Narcissist. We're not going to disagree with you here on this channel. You want to call him a pig? You want to call him disgusting because of some of the remarks he's made, and he's made some disgusting remarks. Caught on mic. No disagreement here. But Alvin Bragg and many in the legal system, Stuart, in the United States are trying to figure out is, where's the crime?
That's my whole point, David. And you know what? They're salivating on The View yesterday about Alcatraz and reopening it. You got the mayor of New York saying Rikers Island's ready. Don't worry.
Look,
Listen to me,
this is
David. They're
game.
salivating. And you want to know something? They're calling Donald Trump this monster. But you know what the messed up thing is? Lock up Hillary,
No,
who
no.
literally
I
lost.
gotta,
He didn't take the vendetta. He took the win and said you lost.
Stuart,
That's enough embarrassment.
I want to ask you a question, Stuart. I'm going to ask you a question, okay? If Kennedy had been alive today as president,
Oh,
knowing the trysts that he had in the White House,
oh,
what would have happened? He's a
you know,
Democrat.
you
He's a
know,
Democrat.
that's such a David. You don't have to go that far back. Why
Okay,
don't you just stop at Bill Clinton?
Bill Clinton,
You
absolutely.
don't have to go back to Kennedy. Kennedy wasn't a
No,
disgraced
no,
Democrat.
no,
Clinton was.
Kennedy, between Marilyn Monroe and others, he had affairs. I mean, they were known. Had social media been around back then and the vicious media been around then, would they have gone after Kennedy in the same way? Look, the ladies on The View, and I'll use that term because I'm not, I don't have any much respect for most of them. It's for them, this is a game. This is what they've been enjoying. Okay, they've enjoyed it very, very much. But I don't call that news. I call that entertainment. This is what they've become. This is entertaining for people who want to hear this stuff. There's nothing newsy about them. They have no news credibility. My apologies to anybody who thinks that they do. They do not. The people I'm just offended by so often that their attitude is, I'm right. I'm an entertainer. I have no background in really in what you're in these things, because tell me where Whoopi Goldberg has any background in this area, for example. But they're calling her an intellectual, a savant, anybody who can knock Trump down, whatever. But even Bill Maher does it for entertainment. But at least when he interviews, he's interviewed Republicans and Democrats, and he said, this crime, this judgment, this whole thing with Alvin Bragg, it's a joke. All this is doing is enforcing the fact that the United States justice system, especially the one in New York, is targeting a former sitting
The U.S. justice system in New York. But you know what? I have actually something which I'm waiting to reach out to a legal scholar. The judge in this, and we're getting a little off topic, but I think it's important to say the gag order from a non-federal sitting judge should be all encompassing on anything he says that's outside of the jurisdiction in the state of New York where he's been given the bench. He has no authority outside of the state of New York.
Yeah, but
You know what? You know what, David? I think every news agency should file suit against the judge for an emergency order because he cannot enforce a gag order outside of the state of New York. So when he goes to Michigan, he can say whatever the hell he wants.
But Stuart, the incredible, but you know what, Stuart? Again, the gag orders is just shows you the sham. This just shows you the clown show that this is. This shows you the circus that you've created in the court of law. That you've got, and I've said this in a different rant. You have anarchy on campuses. You have crime in the streets. Alvin Bragg, as a DA, his list of disgusting, what he has led New York to is vile. And truth be told, is I know that the mayor Adams may want to say, that that the jails are ready for Trump and whatever. Again, these are shows because you know what? Donald Trump ain't going to jail. All this is talk. And while the women at The View are all salivating at the notion, oh my God, Donald Trump will go to jail. Donald Trump's not going to jail. It ain't happening. And let it go. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me put it to you in a very succinct way. Get over the fact that that you're going to put Trump in jail. Because if you're a liberal right now and a Democrat listening to this going, oh my God, Donald Trump's going to jail, it will be thrown out. The Supreme Court's throwing this out. This isn't going far. This clown show, Stuart, is a disgrace. What is going to happen, though, is what you've seen here. And this is where I brought up Alan Dershowitz at the beginning. The frightening part is if you can bring Donald Trump to trial on a made-up charge,
Yep.
330 million Americans going to have the same treatment. And if you don't, they'll go after Joe Biden 10 minutes after he gets off the bench, or off, sorry, out of office. Oh man, they'll go do the same thing. Stuart,
You know,
one to you, my friend.
last word, David. What the Democrats have done, or I'm going to say the anarchist party has done, because it's not the real Democrats, it's the anarchist wing of the Democratic Party, has basically single-handedly destabilized U.S. government. David, close it up.
You know what, Stuart? It goes beyond the pale to believe of what your tax dollars are paying for, and what everybody is going to be dealing with. Because as we get closer and closer and closer to the election, think about it, closer and closer to the election, what are we going to hear? Hey, Stuart, what are you going to hear?
Can't say it better than that, David.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we let go, we must wish my dear friend Stuart Brisgell a wonderful happy birthday. Wishing you all the very best, my friend. Only health and happiness. On that note, well, I caught him like tight-lipped. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks you for tuning in to today's Rant Network. I know this was not our usual way of doing things, and Stuart's technical problems will eventually disappear. We trust that you hope you found something in today's exchange and a little bit of reflection on, don't always believe the media don't believe what you hear and you see. And if you're watching The View, please find another station. Netflix is pretty good. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern when we broadcast. We do not edit this, as you can see. You will see the glitches and the boops and the bumps. That's just the way we go. We go with the flow. A little bit different than normal podcasts where they need to clean this up. We don't clean up anything. One take, we're done. Engage us on social media, folks. We are all over the place. Share your comments. We really genuinely appreciate your feedback. And until Friday, Stuart,